Isn't it ironic that most people are at peace when surrounded by their loved ones, but you, as a narcissistic abuse survivor, experience peace only when the narcissist is absent, when they are gone, when you have space to breathe, when you can finally let go and relax? It is painful because you should be feeling calmness in presence of your partner, your parent, or whosoever the person is that you're deeply attached to, but it's the opposite, and that shows the level of dissatisfaction and loneliness you feel in their presence. Let's talk about this further in today's episode. Hi, I am Danish, a psychologist and a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the only time you feel peace when with a narcissist. If that sounds interesting and you're eager to find out more, please make sure to subscribe before we get started. As a child, nothing made me happier than hearing the news of my father going away for a week or a month. My father, who was and is a malignant narcissist, used to control and torture us in all ways possible. So you can imagine, I had to walk on eggshells around him. I had to be hyper vigilant. I had to stay hyper attuned with his emotional state so that I could predict any outfall and prepare for any incoming punishment. Simply, back then I could not breathe at all. So whenever I got the news he is going away for work and he won't be home, I used to jump out of joy, literally. And that used to be the happiest day ever. Bigger than any celebration, any holiday. Bigger than Christmas Eve, I would say. Because you can imagine eating at peace, watching a cartoon show and nobody shouting at you. I could simply be myself without worrying about what he is going to do next, what he is going to say, and how my parents are going to fight and so on. But let me tell you this. A child shouldn't live their life this way. A child is supposed to be a carefree, bird-like soul that just flies all around. A child shouldn't have to worry about, are my parents going to fight when I'm back from school? How is the environment going to be? What will happen next? They shouldn't have to be anxious all the time, panic about their parents, the situation at home, the family overall, because that makes them an anxious adult. That turns them into a worrier. I know it because that is who I was in my past. And then people used to make fun of me. What's wrong with you? Why are you so weak? But nobody ever considered my history. Unfortunately, that is a type of invalidation we get to experience and face as narcissistic abuse survivors. It is really sad that as survivors of these monsters, we have to rely on these mini breaks that we get here and there, and we look forward to experiencing one. We look forward to being our true selves. Yes, temporarily, but that is more than enough. That is what also trauma bonds us to our experiences. That is what makes it feel so normal. That is what makes it seem like, oh, we can handle this because we are getting a break here and a break there. So it is tolerable. I'm talking about these breaks in the context of an adult romantic relationship. You know, when you are with a narcissist and they're abusing you constantly, but then they leave for work or they're gone for some reason and you get to spend some time with your children, or you get to be yourself, you falsely think, oh, it's fine, I can handle it because I get these gaps. No. What you are living is a very dysfunctional life, and this is not how things should be. Most of the time, you should be at peace. Most of the time, you should be living your life the way you live it when they are gone, not the opposite. Just because you get that relief, that respite from chaos, does not mean it's okay to stay or that you can handle it. It is still toxic. It's like you are in a war zone and they give you some break from the battle for an hour or so, let's say for a week, whatever. It does not change the fact that you're still in a war zone, in a battlefield, and you can die. You can. You are still at risk. So your fundamental goal and objective should be to leave and never look back. Taking you back into my childhood again, My father used to notice this behavioral shift in us, particularly in me as children. He used to point out our happiness that we would feel upon hearing that he is going to go away. And that would trigger him. That would trigger his shame and his anger. And he would taunt us, yeah, you should celebrate because now I'm going away. Instead of asking, what am I doing that terrifies them of being around me? Do I need to change something in myself? These are my children. They should be happy about spending time with me, but instead they just want to go away. He would rather choose to blame us and make it seem like we want him to die and we want to have it all, instead of reflecting and considering the possibility to change. Being a monster that he is, he would try to destroy our temporary happiness by randomly showing up without a notice. He would try to catch us off guard, cooking different kind of meals and doing our own stuff. And then whenever he would be able to do it successfully, he would humiliate us. He would put us down and say all sorts of nonsense. I know you want me to be gone. I do everything for the family and you're happy without me. I don't understand. Am I a monster? Am I a demon? Why are you so scared of me? It seems like when I come back, you see not me but the angel of death. And that was true. That is how we felt in his presence. Instead of being ashamed of himself and feeling remorse for making us feel that way, he would secretly enjoy having an excuse to abuse us, to shut us down, and to make it seem like we want him to be gone without a reason. That is who they are. Have you experienced something like this? If yes, drop your experiences in the comments below. With that, let's bring this episode to an end. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.